Hey, how's it going everyone? It is Online here. Welcome back to another video as always. Happy holidays guys. I hope your holiday season's going well. I hope you're spending time with family, all that sort of jazz, and just taking a break for yourself at least, to say the least, and just enjoying your time off. And as we get into 2019, it should be pretty exciting here. I know I haven't uploaded about a month now, but planning to change that, of course. As I said in my last video, December was definitely a chaotic month. I don't think I've uploaded since the Game Awards time, and obviously I had my college trip and I had some other stuff, including the holidays, to deal with. So yeah, really just been an exciting time, honestly, able to just spend time with friends and family, go out, also just think about what I want to do in my next chapter of my life. And yeah, ultimately 2019's here. I really want to get back into sort of the grind of making more videos, and yeah, really excited to do so. And I really wanted to make this video in particular because it's pretty much on my mind going into January, and I figured I'd start the conversation now. So I'm going to be talking about PlayStation and Nintendo, pretty much these two companies, because obviously we know Nintendo's past record. We know that there's going to be some kind of direct now in this month of January. They always do that. Last year we got the mini, the year before was kind of different because we got like the showcase. But really, obviously, we always expect the direct from Nintendo in January. And honestly, I think there's like rumors now talking about possibly next week. As soon as next week, we might see this new direct. So that's pretty exciting. And as well as, of course, we got to talk about Sony, because I haven't talked about them since the Game Awards. And obviously, the Game Awards, they were a complete no-show. We didn't get anything from Sony. I think all we got was like a tweet later that night or something like that from Sean Layden saying, "See you in the new year." Pretty much teasing that they have stuff to show off in, in 2019. And obviously with things like Days Gone, we got to get some updates and just some information coming out here soon, because they've been quiet pretty much since June. So let's get into all this. I know there's always going to be those people that just want to go to a certain publisher like Nintendo or PlayStation, so I'm going to put on the timestamps right now if you want to skip to certain predictions. But yeah, I'm pretty much seeing two events going down in the January-February timeframe. So yeah, I want to start with PlayStation because obviously that's probably like the biggest audience that I have on my channel right now. So let's go into PlayStation now. I see this event or this showcase being similar to E3, where they just go over mainly their exclusives. In terms of announcements here, I think it's really going to be just maybe one or two small C-tier games, things no greater than knack or something. That's what I'm trying to put expectations here. I'm not really going to put in like any actual like game predictions, because honestly I just be throwing my hat in the ring. I have no idea what Sony could possibly announce, what they have. We already know that they're pretty much making PS5 games, so a lot of these games that we're seeing right now are pretty much going to be the last exclusive, so I kind of want to stick with that. So yeah, obviously I see this event happening either late this month in January or early February. I feel like we got to get a PlayStation event sooner or later because of Days Gone. And speaking of Days Gone, that's my first prediction. I feel like this is kind of where my head goes when I'm thinking about this event, because Days Gone's going to be probably like the game that comes out the soonest here in April, I believe. And I think it's going to get probably like a story trailer. We haven't really gotten anything on the story of Days Gone since probably its initial reveal back in 2016 at E3. That whole entire, I'm a drifter, we saw her as like wife before she died or something like that. That whole kind of like tease of what the story was going to be about. I feel like we'll get a lot more of that kind of vibe going into Days Gone ahead of its release. And hopefully Sony will have something to show for us in terms of Days Gone. And yeah, this will probably be like one of their main focuses, because it's going to be like the game that's going to be coming out here soon. Of course, I'm not sure how, there's always like that back thought in my mind because they didn't mention Days Gone at E3, so it could always be a little weird like that. But it's Days Gone, you kind of have to advertise it. It's got to be there, a story trailer. I feel like if they had like a set event, and the reason why I'm saying this is going to be an event, because they literally showed nothing at all. You could see maybe Dreams getting something in like the Game Awards and something like that, and certain games might not get any information, but literally they pretty much kept it tight on all their games. So I believe there's going to be like a big blowout of news, kind of like their own showcase in a way, or like a own small event giving updates on these sort of things, kind of like what Nintendo does in a way when they're ready for it. Next, I want to talk about Last of Us, because obviously Last of Us Part 2 is kind of a big discussion coming to 2019, because I feel like there's two sides of the camp. There's people that think it's going to be 2020 and 2019. I still have a gut feeling that Last of Us is this year. I feel like it can't be next year, because I feel like that's too long of a wait. I could always be wrong. I feel like if you look at the past record with like God of War and Spider-Man, I was not at all close to when I thought those games would come out. Right now, I'm looking at Last of Us Part 2 with the release anywhere between June and August. I feel like, I don't know, I just have a gut feeling that Last of Us Part 2 is sooner than we think. I know I'm probably just gonna eat it just for saying that, but that's just my gut feeling. I feel like if we see anything else at this point right now, I don't want to say gameplay, I want to see probably like a trailer or something. I feel like that's what they'd give. Honestly, that's like my gut feeling. We could see more gameplay, of course, but yeah, I want to say June, August. I feel like it's not going to be like 2020, or I don't see it being fall either. I mean, Last of Us could go up in the fall, you know, it's big enough, but Sony really hasn't done that with any games besides maybe Spider-Man in September, which wasn't even really fall. That was like the end of summer, so yeah, I definitely want to say August, that time, definitely around that area. June, August, I'll say. Dreams is a weird one because I feel like this is the one Sony exclusive that we actually have gotten a little bit of information lately, and that's due to Media Molecule themselves. They kind of did their own private beta thing, and then I believe it's going public like next week or something for like signups and stuff. Dreams, I don't know. Honestly, I don't like predicting Dreams because Media Molecule goes all around and they just do their own thing in a way. Like, they showed up at the Game Awards a year ago, but then they haven't really done any sort of public event. And then when they showed up at E3, it wasn't really a, you know, they just had like little cartoons in between the games, which is so weird, honestly. Yeah, Dreams has always been absent from these sort of things, and honestly, I want to say that Dreams won't be there because it seems like Media Molecule, like, just directly feeds information to the fans. I don't think they've been at a Sony event, like, ever, really, besides maybe that PSX a year ago. Like, if you think about it, if you really think about it, when have they been at, like, a E3 or something like that with Dreams? It really hasn't been at, like, a official showcase video, so I don't know. Dreams is an iffy one. I mean, we're getting information lately with, like, the beta and stuff. People are getting their hands on it. They still say 2019. I want to say the game will come out hopefully by the summertime because I feel like that'll be the best time for Dreams, but of course, you never know. But I feel like Dreams and Days Gone are definitely going to be the first two games this year coming out, so I feel like by summertime it has to come out. They got to get it out the door at some point. Even if it is going to be like a games as a service, they need to get a product out there. Honestly, they do. It's been since Tearaway, and like, yeah, it's been a while. Ghost of Tsushima is like a game that, I don't know, I feel like there's not enough discussion on right now. Honestly, coming from my point of view, I know it was like the game that's been like in development the longest, but I feel like it's like the most probable game to come out in 2020, honestly. Just something about Sucker Punch's like information lately. They haven't really given much information on Ghost. I feel like we know more about Death Stranding and Last of Us than we do about Ghost, and I don't know, it could surprise me. They could say, oh, summer 2019 or fall 2019, and it's coming out later this year, but I honestly feel like if there's one game that's going to slip into 2020, it's going to be Ghost of Tsushima or Death Stranding, and honestly, I'm leaning towards Ghost of Tsushima, honestly. We got that initial teaser trailer back at PGW, and then we got gameplay at E3. Honestly, just surprised us. I know Sucker Punch is just working on the game, hammering away. I just want to see something that, I don't know, just intrigues me to, you know, care more about this game than I do right now. It is definitely like the weakest game so far in the Sony lineup for me personally. It's like Ghost of Tsushima is probably at the bottom alongside Days Gone as of right now. I do love Sucker Punch's games. That being said, I'm just not completely sold yet on Ghost of Tsushima, but I know a lot of people are like completely opposite of me, and that's completely fine. I mean, that's great to be excited for a game, and I'm still excited for this game. It's just I want to see more, and hopefully what their next showcase will be, or their next showing of the game will be pretty cool. Death Stranding is a weird one. This is like the game that's always like made out to be so far away, but at the same time you're getting people like Norman Reedus coming on to interviews and saying it's going to come out possibly in early 2019 from his knowledge. Obviously it's not coming out early 2019 because it's Death Stranding. You know, we'd have information, you know, we'd have more information at this point if it was coming out in early 2019. And at the same time, can you really believe that it's going to come out later this year? I mean, Kojima said that production is going fast, but at the same time we haven't really seen anything. And even if it does show up at like an event, do we really think it's still going to come out later this year? And what will be next year then? You know, honestly, it's a weird one. You can't have all these games come out this year. Obviously, that's, you know, that's just common sense. And I feel like if there's any 2020 games, it would be Ghost of Tsushima and Death Stranding. And maybe Death Stranding's early 2020. I don't know. I always get these things wrong. But honestly, Ghost of Tsushima and Death Stranding are like the two games I see going into 2020. And for Death Stranding, I just want to see actual gameplay, some like gun combat or something exciting. We gotten some pretty cool, like, you know, teasers and like we have a lot of footage of Death Stranding, I'm not gonna lie. The showcase at E3, I really had like mixed feelings on it because it was kind of just like a walking simulator from what we saw. We didn't really get to see anything too intriguing. But that being said, there was like a little bit of element of something more than just what they showed us. You know, we had got teases of like the villains near the end, and just we obviously know there's a greater game at place, and of course with Kojima's interviews talking about how this is like an interconnected world and stuff. We want to see some of that come into fruition here, and hopefully their next showcase of Death Stranding will kind of keep us on that hype train a little bit, you know? So yeah, I guess that ends it for the PlayStation predictions. I don't really know what else to say. PS5, obviously I'm not even going to touch that subject because it's too early. You know, the soonest we'll hear about PS5 is going to be like later this year or, you know, early 2020. I guess let's move on to Nintendo. Nintendo should be pretty quickly. I don't want to get into like the too nitty gritty because I always fail at direct predictions because Nintendo always just is good at keeping, just things behind closed doors and just not knowing what their next move will be. So I'm just going to play it safe. Fire Emblem and Yoshi will get release dates. I think these two are like obvious because like they're like the only spring games that we know for sure for the Switch coming out. It just makes sense that those guys would get the release dates and, obviously promotion will kind of like kick up more. Hopefully it's good. I'm really looking forward to Fire Emblem personally because, I don't know, it just feels like a void that I haven't gotten since like maybe like Rabbids kind of, strategic kind of thing. So, yeah, Yoshi, it's kind of like Kirby. I'm not really into that sort of thing. It's fine if you are. Obviously, it's a nice, relaxing game, but I don't know. Animal Crossing is definitely one that I see possibly getting like a full reveal at this direct because, we still have Pokemon 2019, and that will definitely be like November, and you can't really have an Animal Crossing game come out around that time. I feel like Animal Crossing has to come out in the summer, and they wouldn't have teased it at the September direct if it wasn't going to come out somewhat sooner than, November, I feel like anywhere between June and early summer is like fair game for Animal Crossing. It's going to come out anytime during then. And knowing Nintendo, they're going to want to capitalize on Animal Crossing in summer and pop it out like right after E3 or something, So I definitely could see like a full reveal of Animal Crossing happening now because anytime after E3 or during E3, it's going to be probably like about Pokemon and stuff. So I feel like marketing wise and just strategically planning out your releases, Animal Crossing would either get a full reveal here or March, and I feel like March is way too close to summer to fully reveal the game, so you gotta have something for Animal Crossing here. There's no reason why they would reveal it back in September that early if we weren't gonna get something like gritty, and it gonna come out like somewhat in the summer or somewhat sooner, so yeah, Animal Crossing I definitely see as a pretty likeliness of, getting a full reveal here, but obviously still saving stuff for like an Animal Crossing Direct. Metroid Prime Trilogy was something we were all kind of like expecting at the Game Awards, and obviously we still have like people saying it's a real thing, and obviously it makes sense if Metroid Prime 4 is coming out. So I do want to say that like kind of like what we got with Donkey Kong and Tropical Freeze and like those kind of things, announcements at the mini direct last year, I feel like that will be Metroid Prime Trilogy's kind of like time to shine in this direct, We're probably going to get an announcement of that. Part of me was thinking maybe they'll wait till like March or, E3 of when they next showcase Metroid Prime 4, but honestly, we just heard about it for so long now, I feel like it has to come out, and it's only like a HD collection, it's nothing like you're remaking it all, so I feel like it's something that they can come out here in one of the early, like, kind of deader months of the year, and I feel like it's kind of like a no-brainer in that sort of sense, so yeah, I want to say that they'll announce it here, and hopefully they will. Obviously, there's like some other stuff I can't announce. Maybe they'll announce like a port of Nier or something. I don't know. That's just like a random prediction. I've seen Platinum's name thrown around quite a bit on like Reset Era and on Twitter. And like I think notably like one insider, Licky Panda, said online that Bayonetta 3 is currently being aimed for 2019, and it's been like a year since we heard about Bayonetta 3 or saw it like fully revealed. And if it is going to be scheduled for this year, maybe it is this direct, maybe it's the March one, but I feel like, yeah, it's possible that Bayonetta 3 could show up. You don't know how far along this game is, we don't know when it's going to come out, if it is being aimed for this year. It's kind of like my big reach ones. This is definitely going in. This is probably like my reach prediction is that maybe we'll get some more information on Bayonetta 3. I feel like it's kind of likeliness, it's kind of up there, so yeah, obviously Metroid Prime 4 is probably something you'd wait for like E3, but Bayonetta 3 I feel like it's fair game. And another one I've seen kind of like thrown around is that, we seem to always get like Zeldas every 2 years or something. And like obviously Breath of the Wild came out like nearly 2 years ago at this point. And yeah, obviously a new Zelda is obviously thrown around because it's like Nintendo's big key franchise alongside Mario. And yeah, I've seen 2D Zelda thrown around. So I just want to say something Zelda related might get announced, whether that's like a remake or a port or a new 2D Zelda that's like not like a fully fledged budget, like, as Breath of the Wild, obviously. A new actual Zelda in the vein of Breath of the Wild obviously is going to take some time. Even if they remake assets, it's still going to take time to build that world and everything. So, yeah, I just want to say something Zelda related, something that like keep that franchise in people's mind. Last year I think we got like the Warriors game for Zelda, and I think I remember seeing an interview that they want to get some kind of Zelda themed game out every year, and I think last year they had the intent of having that Warriors game for Zelda. And this year I feel like there'll be like some small either remake or port or just a new 2D Zelda game. So yeah, I guess that's all kind of for my predictions. Again, I think a Nintendo Direct will be here within the next couple weeks here, possibly next week, in the PlayStation event, showcase, whatever, updates on these sort of things. kind of an event will happen either late January or early February. So yeah, I guess those are like my 2 events I wanted to talk about today. I think 2019 will be pretty exciting for these 2 events alone if they do happen. And of course, you know, we got releases like Resident Evil 2 later this year. I mean, later this month. What am I saying? Yeah, I think that's like January 25th. Kingdom Hearts 3 is also coming out later this month. And of course, we got like things like Anthem, Metro next month. And of course, Sekiro, DMC5, and Days Gone. So it should be a pretty cool next couple months. You know, it's nothing like huge, but it's definitely a pretty big blowout for early 2019 that we haven't really seen in a couple years. You know, I don't think last year was this crowded around this time. So yeah, it should be pretty exciting. Q1 of 2019. Of course, I've been online. Make sure to leave a like if you enjoyed the video. Subscribe if this is the first video of mine you have seen. And yeah, I'd appreciate that. So, that being said, I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care, everyone. Again, happy holidays. I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.